A pyramid is different than a prism in that it only has one base. So the base is going to be a polygon, and the lateral faces, so the slanted faces here, will be triangles with a common vertex. So they all meet at the same point, which is the top of the pyramid. The height, also referred to as the altitude, is the perpendicular distance between the base and the vertex. So the height is here. A regular pyramid is going to have a regular polygon for the base. So recall that a regular polygon is one with all sides and all angles that are congruent. The slant height is exactly as it sounds. It's the height of a lateral face. So it's slanted and it sits on the triangle at a perpendicular, so it would be a right angle here. That's referred to as L for slant height. The lateral area is finding the area of all of the lateral faces. So if we find the lateral area, we're finding the area of all of this except for the base. The formula is half of the perimeter of the base times the slant height. So P stands for the perimeter of the base, and L stands for the slant height. If we want to find the whole surface area, so that means we have the lateral area, all the triangles, then we need to find the area of the base. So we take the lateral area and add to it the area of the base. So this is different than a prism because before with a prism we would add two bases, but in a pyramid we only have one base. So lateral area is 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height, and B stands for the area of the base. So the only difficult part in these problems is that if we want to find the slant height, oftentimes we're going to have to create a right triangle using the altitude and the fact that we can create a segment going down, and then this would be our height of our pyramid. Let me highlight this as well. So at this point, this distance here from the middle of the square, which is our base, to the end point would be half of the whole length here, which is 8. So this length here would be 4. They already gave us the altitude, which is 12, and we're looking for L, the slant height. So basically this is the picture we have, the right angle here. This is the picture we have. We have a height of 12, this is 4, and we're looking for the slant height, which is the hypotenuse of a right triangle. So the slant height would be c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So x is what we're looking for. A is 4, b is 12. So x squared equals 16 plus 144. So x squared is 160. And we'll take the square root of 160, which gives us the slant height of 12.649. Okay, so to move on with the lateral area is 1/2 the perimeter of the base times the L, slant height. Well, here's our L. The perimeter of the base, let's find the perimeter of the base. Well, the base is a square, so we would add 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8, and we would get 32 for the perimeter of our base. So our lateral area is 1/2 the perimeter times the slant height, which we found was 12.649. Put all those values in your calculator. And I'm going to round to the nearest tenths place. So the lateral area you should get is 202.4. And that's going to be units squared because we're talking about area. Now to find the surface area says to take our lateral area and then add one of the areas of the bases. So we already have our lateral area, which is 202.4, so now we need the base area. Well, the base here is a square, and the area of a square is one of the sides squared. So the area of this squared would be 8 squared, which is 64. So now we have our lateral area and our area of our base. So we substitute our values. 202.4 was our lateral area, and 64 is the area of our base. So we should get a total surface area of 266.4, and that's units squared because we're referring to area. Alright, I'd like for you to try number 1 on your own and see if you get what I get. Pause the video and make sure you answer all 3 questions. We want the slant height, we want the lateral area, and we want the total surface area for the pyramid. Alright, slant height is 5 inches, lateral area is 80 inches squared, and surface area is 144 inches squared. If you didn't get what I get, raise your hand or ask a neighbor. We'll try one more time with example 2. Just identify what is your slant height, what is your lateral area, and the surface area. In this case, they have already given us our slant height, so we do not need to use Pythagorean theorem. Alright, we should have gotten slant height as 9 centimeters, lateral area is 126, and surface area is 174. Raise your hand if you need assistance. A cone is going to have a circle for a base, and a vertex that's not in the same plane as the base, so the vertex will be up above it. The height is also known as the altitude, and that's the perpendicular distance between the vertex and the base, so that'll be measured at a perpendicular. And the slant height, I'm going to call that L again. The slant height is this from the vertex to a point on the circle. Okay, the lateral area, if you're asked to find the lateral area, that's asking you to find the triangular part area here. So it's everything on the cylinder except for the base of the cylinder. So our formula for that is going to be pi times the radius times the slant height. And then the total surface area is going to be the lateral area plus add the area of a circle. So pi r L plus the area of a circle, which is pi r squared. So for the first example, we start by finding the slant height of the cone, and once again we have a right triangle here where we're looking for the slant height, which is going to be the hypotenuse. So we find x squared to be equal to 3 squared plus 16 squared. So then 3 squared plus 16 squared is 265, and we're going to find the square root of that to get our slant height. So we should get a slant height of 16.279. The lateral area is pi times the radius times our slant height, which we found our slant height. The radius is 3, so our lateral area is pi times 3 times our slant height, which is 16.279. Putting all those values in our calculator and rounding to the nearest tenths, I get 153.4, and that's going to be units. We don't have the units, so we just write units squared. The total surface area is to take the lateral area and add to it pi r squared. It'll give us the total surface area. The lateral area we found was 153.4, so we're going to add to it pi r squared, so pi times 3 squared, which is pi times 9. And rounding to the nearest tenths place, I get 181.7 units squared. Alright, I'd like for you in the next example to find the slant height, the lateral area, and the total surface area. Pause the video and see if you get what I get. Alright, here's your solutions for number 3. And once again, I'd like for you to pause the video and find the lateral, or the slant height, the lateral area, and the surface area for number 4. Alright, these are the solutions that you should have gotten for number 4. If you didn't, raise your hand or ask a neighbor, and move on to the volume of cylinders and pyramids, or cones and pyramids.